STALKER Anomaly provides to you a sandbox to experience Stalker however you please. Whether it's crazy gunfights, mutant hunting, artifact hunting, or all of the above, Anomaly gives you that and more. But what if you have a brain that doesn't function very well? What if guns are too scary, but explosions tickle your dopamine receptors? Well, by golly, Anomaly has got you covered. Can you beat STALKER Anomaly with only explosives? And by explosives, we mean explosives, so anything that goes boom is on the table. We are once again using my favorite, the Dark Signal Modpack with the base preset, and our objective is to complete the Lost to the Zone missions. For this challenge, we decided to go with Clear Sky as a faction. They are second in terms of allies to the Ecologist, but I don't want to be an Ecologist because I'm too much of a nerd in real life to be one virtually. So this challenge is going to be a real treat. Explosives only puts us in quite a pickle. Nobody's going to have launchers or RPGs until much later, so our only real offensive tool is the classic grenade. And getting enough to do things isn't that simple. So our first objective is money. Cold, hard cash. We ran around the base to talk to the merchants to get some missions that we can complete without weaponry. We didn't get shit, so instead we decided to run off to start our Lost to the Zone missions. A quick jaunt through the swamps put us at Doc's footsteps where he informed us about Strelok. With the good news, we ran off to an anomaly field to get ourselves killed. Don't worry, that's totally normal. We ran up through Agroprom to collect a fast travel point, then we were off to Garbage to do the same. And why not add Corden to the list too? I know this enemy Stalker and this Rebounder Anomaly were happy to see me. Sidorich gave us some work to be able to collect money for the grenade fund, so I went and bought what I could and threw a smoke grenade because I had no idea what they actually did in the game. Don't worry, we won't be doing that again. I don't think. Now here's the thing, guys and gals, I'm reasonably creative and partially nuts, so I could make a reasonable attempt at narrating most of this early game, but this was genuinely nothing but us running around and smoking cigarettes. We employed some tactics of letting other people deal with my problems, and copious Monolith taunting. At least the arena wasn't very hard, some easy cash right there. And luckily, being one of the most cracked out of my mind Anomaly players out there, we took our 5 grenades and ran into the Agroprom Underground. It was only until I was in the Underground when I realized that fighting Bureaus with grenades was about as useful as a squatted pickup truck. We were planning to survive, but the Bureau was trying its best to scare me off. Our brilliant tactics of getting the fuck out of there was the best idea I had since throwing that smoke grenade. So with that out of the way, we returned to Rostock to talk to the barman, and had the bright idea of heading to Dead City to talk to the mercs. This went great. We got killed by dogs who chased us into these houses, followed by a lurker, once by the fucking Monolith by the Dead City entrance, and capped off by a nice Anomaly death. You may have caught the Monolith at the Dead City entrance, yeah, so we couldn't get to Dead City this way. The other option was Yantar, and you know, I couldn't resist walking into more anomalies while we were at it. But once in Dead City, we learned they stock grenade launcher grenades, which will come in super duper handy later on. But unfortunately, not right now. The current task is to wait for Professor Sakharov to do the Psi helmet, but the idea of assaulting the radar right now frightens me. We used our time wisely, as you can see, and by the time the helmet was done, I had a plan. Up north is the Scoutovsk, which houses Nimble, a prolific arms dealer. He also has with him a reasonably nice Clear Sky armor suit. We need some good armor if we had a hope of doing the radar for sure. So, my smart ass thought maybe we could go through Le Mans to get to Jupiter and head north. Maybe, just maybe, there'd be friendlies. And there was, but there was also Monolith. Live by the boom, die by the boom. Not that this was like legitimately impossible or anything, but I was fighting guys with Gauss rifles. We only had grenades right now. I mean, the idea of a grenade launcher was like a wet dream. But what we had to do was just simply let the grenades rip. I was attempting to be a little conservative, but we just couldn't do that. We did manage to take him down and get through the restrictor to Jupiter, but I completely overlooked the fact that we got dropped off right in the heart of a bandit base. Smooth move, Wave, smooth move. So off to the Red Forest. Don't you just love when I start a transition with that? Yes, the Red Forest. I wanted to avoid it because fighting mutants was worse than fighting Monolith troopers with Gauss rifles. Even with the undoubtedly large amount of mutants, we got lucky and made it all the way through to Jupiter. I made a quick pit stop to grab beans, and headed off to Zaton. At the Scoutovsk, we finally met Nimble and got the nice new suit I wanted. After running around using other stalkers to kill side dogs for us, we collected enough grenades and hip to where I was happy enough to deal with the Miracle Machine. What's fun is this is totally unnecessary to the Lost to the Zone missions, but we do it anyway, mainly because it's tradition. Also, it's a good warm-up for the radar. Bloodsuckers maimed me a couple times before I got both with one grenade. The Snorks got dealt with by my patented drop the grenade at my feet and run technique, and I left an IED for the Bureau. Best idea ever. The controller was a bit of a pain, but still not too bad. After wading through Snorks and getting shot at, the game greeted me with sunshine. I greeted Hip with a Monolith taunt. Once we had a second to catch our breath, we worked our way over to the army warehouses to begin the radar. We did this mission here. I made a quick pit stop. Then it was off to the Red Forest to get killed by a Chimera. If you were curious how did we get into the radar itself, it was exactly as you may have expected. I ran straight through, didn't look at anybody. This did, of course, result in our demise. Twice. Only on the third time did I make it through. Now let me tell you guys and gals, this was by far one of the most difficult things we have done in this game. Killing Eidolon with a Makarov, the sarcophagus with only companions. This was seriously one of the first times I thought this might not be possible right now. Between the suit that was getting blown apart with every shot, to fighting Monolith with nothing but simple grenades, it was pain. I resorted to relying on Hip, which was just straight up frustrating, but we just didn't have enough grenades to really let him fly, even after picking some up on nearly every Monolith soldier. The stress got to me though as I stood here menacingly wielding a knife in front of this Monolith soldier. Eventually, I did learn an interesting strategy, throwing the grenade at my feet and running away. Although this did result in my death more than once. Meanwhile, something that we have been up to this whole time was managing Hip's inventory, but somehow she got hold of a Groza. Yes, that means we now possess a grenade launcher. Didn't have many for it though, but hey, some is better than none. After bum rushing these guys and laying down the boom on this poor piece of shit, we made it out of the radar. A full hour in this place. Many deaths. This was genuinely not easy. We got right back to the grind afterwards and later on met up with Rogue. He was going to help me grind out stupid shit to get more money and goodwill because I did not want to do anything difficult without a heavier suit. I got his silly Gauss rifle and went back to running errands. Usually, how we've been doing this is working as many easier missions as possible and then running around to all the traders we can to acquire grenades. This was the biggest portion of the playthrough, honestly, but also not all that exciting. We didn't have nearly enough rep to get better armor, but I thought might as well get over to Pripyat to celebrate having a grenade launcher. This meant traveling through the Jupiter Underground, of course, and watching my friendlies deal with the Snorks instead of me. And because you know it can't be this easy, we had to have the game spawn an anomaly in the middle of this doorway. When it came to the Monolith, I let Rogue take the lead, but I tried to back him up with my noob tube. I ran into a bit of a problem with the zombies, but luckily I found a little way to cheese them. We piled them up in a corner and then threw a little boomy at them. But as per usual, we just made a break for it. Fuck it, I don't want to waste the grenades. Once inside the laundromat, I talked to the trader here and found out not only does he have RPGs, but he also has the 6-shot grenade launcher. Silly question. Yes, I bought it. While we were here in Pripyat, we talked to Strelok and his cronies, then set off to do more missions. We returned to Pripyat because I had a brilliant idea to spend all me money onto RPGs so I could use one and so Hip could use the other. These RPGs were bought because Rogue asked us to kill a pseudo-giant, and I didn't feel like wasting grenades. But in typical Stalker fashion, as we went around to buy more grenades, we got ambushed. First, by a controller. And as we waited for our psi health to recover, the Monolith. And how could it get better? Getting chased by a pack of wild doggos while my friendlies played with the Monolith. Very nearly got killed right here. After our many detours, I finally got to deal with the pseudo-giant and fuck, damn it, RZ's mutant bleeding, damn it. Believe it or not, I actually tried to take this out of the game, but it wouldn't launch, so we had to get a little creative. I had an idea to use the grenade launcher first, launch a single nade, then use the RPG, and look, see how smart I am? I'm literally big brain. After a quick trip back home, it was back to Pripyat to tackle the Yubiliny Service Center. The zombies bunched up in single file line, so nice of them to make it this easy. And the Monolith guards here were no trouble. A little revolving tube action was all that was required. Only a matter of time before we were in the lab. We blew up some poor snorks, gave this punk Buer a few snacks, and let the other Buers eat some VOG 25s. I spent like a good 10 minutes trying to find the documents, but I didn't realize I had them the whole time. We actually had 2 missions to get documents in this lab, so I was a bit confused. This now meant we could get ourselves onto the final missions of the Lost to the Zone story. But first, we needed some actual armor. Our old CS suit just won't cut it. We ran a few missions that helped us purchase a woodland exosuit and got right back into the fight with the Monolith. But you know how it is. First we had to get attacked by a controller so that I can't see for the next 2 minutes. And relying on your companions in this game is just plain old bad. But once I had my vision restored, I ended the Monolith ambush. You'd think, time to move on to Pripyat proper, yes? Actually, no. You're wrong. This was conveniently the time that I decided to finally go get the heart of the Oasis, as I do every time I play Anomaly. Yes, the heart of the Oasis, it was about damn time. Our kit looked like this as we went into Pripyat. Stupid powerful artifact, aluminum frame, RPG, grenades, the whole lot. And trust me, we need it all. One fun bit to keep in mind about the Dark Signal mod pack is that for some reason one of the mods here make it so that you have to effectively kill Eidolon 3 times. Yes, you heard that right, 3 times. You'll get hurt enough and then spawn away and then come back for more. Rogue has the LMG, Stitch has the Gauss rifle, Hip has an RPG, and even then, this was no cakewalk. Eidolon 8 RPGs straight to his chest and continued to light me up. Just take it in, everybody. We were slinging those puppies as hard as we could at this dumb Monolith prick. Round 2, Eidolon was hanging out in this hallway, and it was pissing me off. He only pays attention to you the whole time you fight. After round 2 came up short for Eidolon, we watched Hip thin out the Monolith ranks with our RPG, then started round 3 with Eidolon inside this tiny room. We pushed up some, and when Eidolon poked his head out of this doorway, we were trained on him. And it was a hell of a shot. Even gave him a little just to rub it in. The fight was dragging on, so I decided to get in his face and put my body on the line. It paid off though because we finally got him down. And I went to go gloat, and instead he did the old Monolith blow myself up at death trick. Didn't quite work though, and so I went to go gloat some more. That's when the fucker got up, beat my ass, and I panicked through grenades all over the fucking place. Lesson learned, guys, lesson learned. This time we ran straight in there and started throwing grenades as soon as I could see him. Maybe missed one, but hey, Eidolon finally vanquished. We returned to base, and by the miracle of the Monolith, I had myself a Monolith exoskeleton. Yeah, sorry guys, there's 22 hours of footage here. I didn't have the patience to look through the hour and a half we spent fighting in Pripyat to figure out where the hell I got this suit from. Anyways, with now one of the most powerful suits in the game, we grinded ourselves to pieces to get enough money to obtain the sprinting upgrade. And you never guess it, but we grinded even more to afford a nearly limitless amount of grenades. I'm kidding, of course you saw that coming. We actually threw into the mix an M16 with the grenade launcher that Hip had with her. This way I could buy M203 grenades alongside the VOG 25s for the 6-shot launcher. This choice would bring us into the final stretch, with enough grenades to finally take the Monolith down. We made our way to the CMPP through Zaton, obliterated the Monolith defenses at the front. And I think I forgot to mention, I gave Straylock an RPG as well. Although when I started to think about it, the idea seemed stupid since we'd be inside the sarcophagus for the duration of the playthrough, but oh well, it's not like I really need them anyway. I mean look, guys and gals, the majority of this playthrough has been strife, pain, misery, and a lot of grinding missions. But at this point, with a compass, Heart of the Oasis, exoskeleton, RPG, RGD6, M203 launcher, and a handful of handheld grenades, what in the world could possibly stop me? The Monolith folded like a house of cards, stood no chance whatsoever, and was reduced to rubble by my many noob tubes. And the best part is, I was way over-prepared. We had way more grenades than we needed. So, can you beat Stalker Anomaly with only explosives? Well, only if the game doesn't spawn anomalies in the middle of the frickin' doorways in the underground. But otherwise, yeah, you can, if you have the patience for it. Gosh, I hope you guys do enjoy this one. This was one of the longest playthroughs that we have done to date. I don't know if this will be one of the longest videos for this kind of series, but again, I hope you guys enjoyed. Peace out, and I will catch you on the flip.